Yo, good morning, cats. Good morning. All right. So, focuses I've been on my Knicks. Anybody can say I've done about 5 Knicks posts since the playoffs. And I've given my attention to the rest of the league. Even though I didn't make any videos about it, or I spoke a little bit about the Shedeur Sanders situation in the NFL draft. But I'd be far remiss if I didn't get on these Lakers. Now, unfortunately, I only got 3 of my playoff previews out on video. I did the couple of nights of, I was on 93 Zay's channel with his cousin that Friday night, the night I wanted to release the video before the playoffs started. I got the Knicks, Warriors. Really, kind of the most. I think those are the 3 most interesting series, and I started with there. I did make my predictions online, like on Facebook, But anyway, I spoke. Like I said, I spoke on it. I was on a bigger platform. Fortunate to be up there and then, invited. So anyway, but one I did get out, and one you heard my thoughts on was the Lakers and Timberwolves. And again, I was in the minority. I know I was in the minority. I know there are probably like 5 dudes that I'm aware of anywhere, talking anywhere, that have something to say. All right, that actually gave the Timberwolves their props. Okay, a lot of people. The Timberwolves, Lakers and 5. Lakers and 5. Unfortunately, Chandler left his day job to deal with legal issues. Because I would love to see him answer the seat. I might look at Nightcap, see what he had to say. The way I felt the series, the way I called the series, almost played out to a T. Rudy Gobert. Last night was a late Will. I mean, if had he been a little bit younger, this man would have had 40 and 30. He would have had a Wilt Teskian game. But what he did do all series long was bother them Lakers at the foul line. At the basket. That was his job. He was really hard to shoot over, and he was really hard to get the layups on. When he was in the game, that basket was cut off. I probably predicted the Lakers the Wolves and 6 just to be safe. Thinking it might be hard to close out at LA. The Wolves were a better team. And for all you Lakers fans, and y'all were out there prognosticating. Y'all were prognosticating. Y'all were twerking it up, as Dreamers Pro would say. Shout out to Dreamers Pro. Every now and then I'll shout out to the guys that have their channels, their big channels, and kind of inspire me to start ranting and coming on YouTube and put my thoughts down on video. A lot of you guys, were twerking it up. Lakers is going all. And a brother was telling me this all year long. Before Luka, when they got Luka, when they went on a little winning streak, I think they had an 8-game winning streak, right? They finished off pretty mediocre. They had a pretty. Did they have an 8-game winning streak? Whatever. All the talk about MVP, LeBron should be the MVP, and this, that, and the third, because the Lakers did this, did that, did this. You started off the season with Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, who you guys are telling me is a big deal now, right? Now, I said he's a star Like he's definitely a good role player. He's definitely a decent number 3 option. But the roster flaws were exposed. There's one thing when you're marching through the season, and when you do play good teams, like they're served up to you because they're coming out to LA on a road trip, or they're served up to the Lakers because they're playing a back-to-back, or they managed to do this with the Lakers, and the Lakers were carried to 50 wins. Let's keep it real. 50-win team. They really was a 44. They really should have been the play-in team. They were the 7th seed. Borderline 8. Minnesota, as I said all along, would be fine. I said it. Now they struggled they struggled when Randle had the groin injury. And y'all shout out to Julius Randle. Shout out to Julius Randle. He played such a great, other than a couple of little snaps, a couple of little, again, he's known for going nut a couple of times, taking some questionable shots. But Julius Randle got in his bag house. He got right in his house, right in the bully ball mode, right in the post, hitting the threes when needed, the catching three. Last night, Jesus. The worst part about this is that they shot 7 for 47 from 3 and still won the game. Think about this, bro. If they shot, that's putrid. Let's just say they shot horrible, close to 25%. So 12. That's 15 more points. Let's just say 11. That's 12 more points. They won by 6. They won by 18. Had they shot horrible from 3, like if a few of those went down, they would have won by 20 points. This is just, considering they started off the season, the series from 3 on fire, and I thought that would happen. Like, I think of the people that hit threes, Nas Reed, and I don't even think Nas Reed got a chance, but they understood. See, the thing is, and this is really what last night happened, because the Lakers are a team trying to play small ball in this era, because this era allows you to do it, but they try to do it with an old, slow, non-athletic team. It'd be one thing if they had 6'8" guys that can leap out. They got LeBron, and they got an old guy who can leap out the gym, who is not going to give you maximum effort. And again, you know what? I'll give him credit for trying a little bit for about a game and a half. He tried on defense. I don't remember what I said word for word, but I probably said in my predictions, and more than likely he was going to have to give he was going to try to give a defensive effort because he had to. Listen, Luka was hunted. See, this is the thing for you guys, and I love Luka. I love Luka as a player. Defensively, he's the guy you got to hide. So you can't, when they traded for him, they didn't think this through. Y'all got to understand this. They didn't think this through. You traded for Luka, and you didn't have a rim protector. And thinking it was Mark Williams, again, a guy who's always hurt, would have had a real good chance of being hurt for these playoffs. All right, he's better than Jackson Hayes. He'd at least, as you watch Rudy Gobert turn into Wilt Chamberlain, at least late career Wilt Chamberlain. And Rudy is late in his career as well. He's 33. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And again, the idea of you guys, and this is the next battle I got to fight with this revelation, what happened to the Lakers. You guys that think that Patrick Ewing and Shaq and Hakeem they would not absolutely smoke this era. Last night was if anybody thinks that Rudy Gobert is a better basketball player than Dikembe Mutombo, Alonzo Mourning, the great bigs of the 80s and 90s. You can go back to the 70s because I was told the 70s had better bigs. Moses Malone. All of these beasts, all of these big men, 6'10" and up, 7-foot beasts, would have destroyed the Lakers last night. Shaq, I kept was in AOH's chat. I kept saying, every time Rudy got a dunk, I said Shaq would have had 98, and I just kept going up. It's like the Cat Williams joke on his World War III about Biden. Every time he talked about Biden's age, he kept giving him more years, right? Every time I saw Rudy got it, they lob it over the top, and Rudy just dunked the ball home. JJ Redick, I'm smarter than all of you, Redick. Come to the podium, bro. Come to the podium, bro. You get to crash out and run from. See, the Lakers. This is going to show you how much the Lakers are a joke. And best believe, me and my boy JB, if he's willing, if he's able, we'll be talking about this tonight on 10 Toes Out podcast. Come to the podium, bro. You can't duck this smoke now. But if the Lakers were any time to have a coaches, this is multiple. See, when things are going well, JJ Redick sits there. I'm smarter than all of you. I'm smart. And again, man, listen. As a Duke fan, the guy who played 4 years for Duke, I should be, have a little more love for Redick than I do. But he became so pompous. He's become so pompous. And there's another guy who called out LeBron in the past who's now kissing his fanny, and he did it for one of the most, what used to be, I guess, one of the most prestigious coaching jobs in all of basketball. Head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. So he kissed LeBron Heine to become head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. And he's acting like an absolute buffoon. Oh, yeah, that word again. He's acting like a fool. He gets to crash out in the press conferences. Is that a good look? He did this shit in New York. This is why it tells me that LA ain't a serious sports town either. Let's keep it funky. Y'all can't keep a football team. Y'all support the Lakers because they won 17 championships. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all support the Lakers because when they win. Y'all don't support the Lakers overall. Y'all just want to jump on the bandwagon when it's hot, and it's usually hot. Okay? The LeBron era has now had 7 seasons, and you've been out of the first round twice. One of them wasn't even a real playoff. The other one was a complete. I mean, you caught Memphis, and Ja broke his hand. You caught Memphis as the 2 seed, and Ja broke his hand. You thought you didn't beat a overachieving Golden State coming off their coming in their title defense, but then you ran into a real team. You ran into a team that had every element that it needed to advance, and you got worked. You got worked. I predicted you got worked. I called that series in 5, and I was just being nice, giving them a game. I said exactly what would happen 2 years ago when y'all ran into Denver. And then I said it again when y'all ran into Denver in the first round. What is this? LeBron has got, you got to understand this. LeBron was traded to his team. And I'm going to get into the 40. And I know people are going to talk about how he's 40. He's 40. LeBron was traded the 3rd. Matter of fact, I think he might be 2nd, only to Jordan. I think he might have upped his scoring average to where he's only 2nd to Michael Jeffrey Jordan in playoff career point per game. It was so funny, a guy like Jalen Brunson with the Knicks, if he wasn't buried in the backup, might be up there. But anyway, he was traded the 2nd highest scoring average in NBA history, playoff scoring average in NBA. He's 3rd in the season. In season, he's 3rd. Playoff average, I think he's 2nd, only to Michael Jeffrey. And this shows you levels, man. This shows you what the levels are. Look, LeBron got some numbers. He got a couple of rebounds and assists. And then you casuals, again, 5 points in the 4th quarter. The last 3 games, what has he done in the second half? Well, he's run out of gas. Oh, that's what happens with a 40-year-old. Well, you would think, okay, let me get this 40-year-old through the game. Let me try to get save his best for the end of the games. No, Mr. Mind the Game, who knows analytics and knows this and knows that, apparently he doesn't understand that players get fatigued. A guy who played so many years, because he was a role player. I mean, he did have a few years when he started, right? J.J. Redick was a nice player. He had a nice career. But was J.J. Redick ever that guy in the NBA that you were going, in college he was the man. College he was an elite scorer. Look, far be it for me to be sitting here on my couch questioning an NBA player. I don't know if he goes to the Hall of Fame, but I'm talking about J.J. Redick. I'm not talking about LeBron. College National Player of the Year, National Player of the Year in high school All-American. J.J. Redick, one of the best shooters I've ever seen. Not much for defense, but I think, look, he knows the game enough, and he it's just things you got to learn. I think he thought he skipped over a lot of people to get that job, and there's certain things with the temperament. There's certain things with, the media is going to call you out. The media are Laker fans. The media represent the Laker fans out there. They want to know, Mr. Redick, the guy that was hired because he's LeBron's friend with no coaching experience, what were you thinking playing the same five for an entire fucking half? And it worked for as long as it worked, but in the fourth quarter you blew. Somebody sat there and told me they played well in the fourth quarter, but that was the Pistons, right? But yeah, you didn't play like you blew a 10-point lead coming into the fourth quarter. You couldn't nurse a 10-point lead with your number one lineup. This is the number one lineup. And I'm telling you, bro, I said this. It would have been a 4-game blowout sweep had the Minnesota Timberwolves had a point guard. That's what they should be. Either they're going to develop Dillingham or they're going to be shopping for one. They're going to be shopping for one. I don't know who they be comfortable trading. Look, also, I said Jaden McDaniels will be a key to the series. He borderline. He's the one guy that you could say, forget the number, because guys will tell me he won't get 30 again. He don't need to get 30 again. What I'm seeing, what I saw, and what I foresaw, and what I saw from Jaden McDaniel was a guy that you could stick on any Laker. It was not one Laker that he needed help on. Yeah, Luka could have got his 30-something. See, Luka is a guy that he's going to get his skill set and the way you can guard in this league. He's going to get 30 in his sleep. But he's not going to get, sometimes it's not an efficient 30. Sometimes you're going to have to work hard. He's going to be down, And the more harder he has to work, the worse he's going to be on defense. He's not a good defender in the first place. We all know this. But, he's going to be even worse. He's going to be even more of a traffic cone. Let's keep it funky. Let's keep it 100. But Jaden McDaniels was the key. Well, you could have said borderline MVP. Look, 4 guys was key. 4 guys. And then the Nas Reeds and everybody else, and the Keelan Anderson Walker. Again, I said this. They had the better bench. How do I know they had the better bench? Let's keep it real. Nas Reed and DiVincenzo and Nicholas Walker is better than the entire Lakers bench. And how do I know this? When J.J. Redick, and I get that I think Dorian Finney-Smith, one of these guys didn't start. I think DFS came off the bench, but you ran with the same 5. You didn't go to the bench, other than the guy that you technically didn't start because you needed Jackson Hayes for the jump ball. So you went with 4 guys that played well over 40 minutes in game 4, because you thought that was the must-win game. You treated that game like it was game 7 or game 6 elimination at home. Or on the road, whatever. That's what you did. And it didn't work. It backfired. People thought that the Lakers were the better team, and I've said it again. I said this all year. This roster is mediocre. This roster is not that good. They don't play that consistent. They don't play consistently well on both sides of the ball. The Lakers winner. The Lakers had the best from January 1st on. They had the best defensive rating in the league, and some bullshit. Maybe it was true, but it was not. It was not indicative of what the Lakers were on as a defensive team. Slow. Lakers was a bunch of slow, look. At the end of the day, the mix was bad. LeBron and Luka really didn't play that well off the ball together. It was just like with him and Wade. It was your turn, my turn. Your turn, my turn. It was never one situation where we going back and forth. If you go back and look at the Bulls triangle and the Bulls with Scotty and Mike, they would concurrently go off. They would go off together. There'd be times where Wade and LeBron would do it, but they would have to press somebody and be in the full court trap pressing, causing turnovers. In the half court, hell no. Hell no. They did not play well together. Same thing with Westbrook when Westbrook got there, and the same thing with Kyrie. It was a your turn, my turn type of deal. It was a your turn, my turn type of deal. These guys didn't get a lot of assists to each other. Same even with AD. Your turn, my turn. Your turn, my turn. Why is that? Why? You know why? Because LeBron needs these catch and shoot players. Luka is far from a catch and shoot player. He can catch and shoot, but he is not a catch and shoot player. He's a guy that's going to create his own offense and then create for others. Same thing with LeBron. But LeBron's offense, dive to the basket. You know, every now and then he'll work in the mid-range. I saw he had a nice mid-range, especially early in the third quarter last night. Again, you got diminishing returns. And that's the next thing about J.J. Redick. You need to understand, bro. You go to one thing. It's like, this is basketball 101, sir, Mr. Mind the Game. You can go to a play. I can go, like they could have went to Rudy all night. Eventually, y'all going to make any adjustments. You're going to cause a couple turnovers because you see it coming. That's why you have to mix it in. I've always said this. It's the law of diminishing returns. So the Rudy thing was going to be there as long as the rest of the Wolves made themselves viable enough threats to, and again, they were awful from three. 7 for 47. And shout out to Adrian Hoops. He had the overtime app, TNT overtime app. Bro, why were they shooting so much threes? You shot more threes than two in a situation where anybody that was over 6'9" and certain guy could just lob it over the top, get Rudy, break the defense down, get Rudy a dunk. It was element. They should have won this by 30. And that's one thing about Minnesota. Great defensively, they're questionable offensively, but they have enough talent in that man and these guys and Randall and these guys to get by. So when they get hot, yeah, they can give you a great offensive effort. But they're not a great offensive team. But they're still better than the Lakers. They just don't know who the personnel was. Again, I sat there with Lamont Mr. FYF. He just wanted to go. We started the best three players. Okay, the best player was Luka. Second was Ant-Man. Third was LeBron. And the fact that I hesitated and thought, well, Randall played his role. Randall played very, very well. And this is despite getting dumb foul trouble. LeBron flopped on him, got a third foul early in the second quarter, took him out. Randall still cooked in the second half. Randall played his role. Randall didn't have the ball too much. Randall didn't just get the opportune baskets. He got baskets that broke backs. That's the difference. And we're going to learn this, bro. We're going to learn this. End of the day. The end of the day. Bro, if you know basketball, you saw this coming. If you're a boat rider, if you're a bandwagon rider, if you're a go along, get along type of basketball fan, you thought otherwise. And I'm calling you out. And I'm calling you out right here. Lakers. Peace, fellas.